and welcome back to The Good Life, which to me, as always, is cooking with family and friends, or in today's case, cooking for family and friends. And what I'm going to be cooking today will be chocolate dipped or chocolate drizzled macaroons. And to me, coconut macaroons are some of the best cookies out there. So, you know, if you're going to do anything to make them better, you want to add chocolate to them, and it's really going to kick it up a notch or two. So what I have today to work with, I am going to start with a saucepan. I've cracked 4 large egg whites into the saucepan. I'm going to start off with breaking them up a little bit with a whisk, and then we're going to add other ingredients to incorporate them all, and then we're going to get started on the stovetop. So I have the tool today I'm going to be working with is a ball whisk. You can see it has these different larger balls on the ends of the wires, and it just makes it easier to get into the corners of your pan. Most kitchens probably have something more like the wire or the balloon whisk, but this is really a great tool for the squared off sort of pan we have here. Okay, so I just whisked it up a little bit just to so we can start beginning to add the other ingredients to it and make it mix in a little bit better. So we have 1 1/3 cup sugar. We have a 1/4 cup flour plus 2 tablespoons. Half a teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla. So I'll quickly add it all, mix it to incorporate it pretty well. Okay, once it's nicely incorporated, you want to be careful with the flour because it could really have a way of flying everywhere. You want to add 2 1/2 cups of sweetened coconut. You can find it in the baking section near the chocolate chips and nuts and things like that. But you just want to add the coconut right into your pan. It's going to get stuck in the whisk, so you can just work that out. But you want to be sure that you incorporate the egg white mixture in with the coconut mixture, and then we'll start heating it up over the stove. Okay, so this is what you're looking at. Now let's move the camera over to the stovetop and start heating it up to dissolve the sugar, cook the flour into it, and make your cookie batter for the macaroons. So see you in a little bit. So I have this over a medium-low heat, and we're just going to continually stir this for 5 minutes. And you're going to start to see the sugars melting, and all the ingredients will come together. And here we go. Now what we want to do is we're going to turn the heat up to medium-high. Medium-high. Depends on your stove. We're going to put the timer on 3 minutes. Again, continue to stir. Now you're going to start to see the sugar pull away from the sides, which is what you want to see. You might catch some extra browning. Right now it's just a pale vanilla. But the browning will just add some caramelization and a little depth of flavor, which is wonderful. You don't want it to burn. If it burns, you can turn the heat down. But we're just going to continuously stir this for 3 minutes. Depending on how it looks, we can go up to 5 minutes. You can see it's already pulling away from the sides. Okay, our 3 minutes is almost up, and it seems like the perfect timing. 5 minutes and 3 minutes. See how it's just not sticking to the sides anymore? That's what you're looking for. Okie doke. Turn the timer off. Take this off the heat. And now we're going to go back over to the island and put this in a dish to cool. Okay, so here I have the coconut mixture just off the stove. I'm putting it into a casserole dish lined with parchment paper. And in this, we're just going to let it cool down. Not completely cool, but cool down for about 30 minutes. And if you need to, you can stick it in the refrigerator, but you want it to cool to a closer to a room temp to cool temperature. And now I'm just going to turn this over some, flatten it out so it'll get nice, it'll be uniform, so it'll come to room temp quicker. Okay, and I'll see you back in about 30 minutes. Okay, the timer for 30 minutes went off, and this still feels pretty hot, so I'm going to make sure that it's completely sealed. I'm going to put this whole casserole dish on a wooden cutting board, put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, and come back, and it should be about the right temperature that we want it at. So I will start the timer, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Okay, so this has been in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes or so. It's still a little warm, but that's fine. As long as the batter, the mixture is pliable, you just unwrap it. And I'm just going to plop it right into the dish. It'll make it easier to scoop out. So, I'm going to move this over here. In front of me I have 2 parchment paper lined cookie sheets and a melon baller. You can use a teaspoon if you want. What you want is a rounded teaspoon for each macaroon that you're scooping out and putting on the cookie sheet. So these are really perfect for that sort of task. So what I have, to keep it from being too sticky, I have Crisco nonstick spray. I'm just going to spray on both sides, and then bit by bit, I'm just going to use about so much and scoop them out onto the cookie sheet. You want them to be about 2 inches apart from each other. So I'm doing rows of 4. I would think that 2 cookie sheets would be fine. Okay, I am finishing up scooping these onto the cookie sheet. And when I need to clean my hands, I have a little ramekin of water up here, so I'm able to sort of easily shape these and help them off the scooper. So now we have our 2 cookie sheets. They're ready to go into the 300-degree oven. Look how wonderful they look. And time them for 25 minutes, and we'll be right back to let you know what they look like. And they should be just absolutely wonderful, brown and golden. Okay, so as you can see, both sheets are cooked to perfection. The little tips on the ends are nicely golden brown and not too dark. I ended up extending the time for another 5 minutes, so they cooked on 300 for 30 minutes altogether. So now I'm going to put them on the stovetop and let them cool down before we move on to the next step involving the chocolate. So I will be back in a little while. Okie doke, so now we're in the final stretch of the recipe. We have our macaroons sitting on a cooling rack. They are all cool now, and I've spaced them out so that none of them are touching. So when we were about to drizzle the chocolate on top and they cool, they're not going to be stuck to each other. So I'm going to go over here. I have a makeshift double boiler. Turn the heat off. On top of the double boiler, I have melting chocolate. Okay. So if you sitting inside the other pot with the boiling water underneath, you can just use stainless steel or glass bowl from your kitchen and just put it over a regular saucepan. So now, I think it'd be a good idea to zoom in on the coconut macaroons so you can see what I'm doing, just to show how easy it is to decorate these and bring it a little upscale with your chocolate. So just get a little bit, not the whole spoon, pour some off, and then just start going in a single direction. If you can see what I'm doing here. To me, the single direction, just one direction, makes it look a little bit more elegant. But you could also just sort of drizzle back and forth on top. That's fun. Honestly, any kind of chocolate will make everybody happy. Does not matter what kind you do. Another thing I like to do, just to make it a little bit different, it's pretty, is dip just the bottom part. So you can just let extra run off and then just put it right back down on your cooling rack. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. And upside down on your cooling rack. And a third way that I like to do this, which is actually the first way that I learned, is put this off to the side. Is just mix it around so that in the end you have your half macaroon dipped. Show you again. Just turn the bowl off to the side a little bit so you get like the deeper puddle, and then you have half of your macaroon dipped. That was the original way that I learned when I got this recipe from the magazine Epicurious a million years ago, back in the 90s when I had a subscription to it. So really, either way you do this, it's such a pretty dish, it's a delicious dish, and anybody would be happy to have your little dish. So please, try this at home and offer to your friends and family to make their life a good life.